Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and check us out on Instagram. Instagram.com/greatdetectives. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. Today's program is brought to you in part by the financial support of our listeners. You can support the show on a one-time basis, support.greatdetectives.net, and also become one of our ongoing Patreon supporters for as little as $2 per month by going to patreon.greatdetectives.net. Well, now it is time for this week's episode of The Adventures of the Falcon. The original air date, June 6, 1951, and the title is The Case of the Proud Papa.
The Kraft Foods Company brings you The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Dinah. I'm glad you called. I'll have to have a rain check, Angel. I'm all jammed up. Some boy I know just figured out a way to make a fortune, and I've got to prove to him that sometimes $1 million isn't worth shooting for.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you on behalf of the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Miracle Whip, to join the Falcon in tonight's thrilling adventure as he solves the case of the Proud Papa. Before the Falcon solves tonight's case, let's listen to this. Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip tastes really good. Not too sharp, not too mild, but just exactly right. And Miracle Whip tastes different, too. Different from any other salad dressing. Try it yourself. See why it's America's favorite salad dressing. The one and only Miracle Whip. And now, the case of the Proud Papa. It's Wednesday evening in New York, and in a small hotel room on Manhattan's west side, a brunette named Rita Jordan quenches her thirst. Then, when Rita hears a knock on the door, she hurriedly hides the bottle, proving conclusively it doesn't contain soda pop.
Who is it?
Me.
Just a second, Leo. Hello, darling.
What were you doing that took you...
Aren't you going to kiss me?
Cut it out, Rita. You smell like a saloon.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
I told you to lay off the stuff.
Honestly, Leo, I haven't had a drink
Who are
and
you
I don't...
kidding? Where's the bottle?
I told you I haven't
Where is it, Rita?
Ow! Ow!
Well?
In the bureau drawer.
That one?
Please, sweetheart. You've got to understand I'm sick. If I don't have a drink, what are you doing?
Well, you don't have a garbage disposal unit in this
No,
joint.
Leo, don't! Why did you do that?
Because I can't trust you.
You smug hypocrite. I hate you. I hate you.
You know you don't really mean that.
Ow!
You're crazy about me, aren't you? Everything's going to work out real
I
fine.
just can't go on like this, Leo. I can't.
Well, you don't have to. You think I enjoy seeing my wife live in a crummy dive like this? Don't you think I got a heart? That's why I lined up Ernie Moore.
Ernie?
Yeah. How you doing in that department?
Says he's in love with me.
Well, that's wonderful.
You think it's wonderful he wants to divorce his wife and marry me?
Sure. That shows you're doing a fine job. But that's only half of it.
Well, I can't do the rest.
Now, look, Rita. You're going to go through with it, or I'm through with you. Now, make up your mind. Well?
I'll get the money from Ernie.
You got a date with him tonight?
In an hour.
Good.
Listen, Leo, couldn't I have just one small drink?
No.
Just to give me a little...
I said no, Rita. But you do the job right, and I'll buy you a case. Now, go wash your face, baby. We want you to look real pretty for the boy. Oui, monsieur?
Oh, I'm looking for... Oh, there she is.
Hello, Ernie.
How are you, Rita? You been waiting long?
Seemed like years. Hope you don't mind my ordering.
Of course not.
Look, that's stupid of me. I went and finished your drink, too. Waiter,
Oui, madame.
I think we'd better go round again.
Very good, madame.
What's the matter, Ernie? You look unhappy.
Look, I don't want to heckle Rita, but don't you think you're drinking too much?
Are you going to start lecturing me, too?
Well, I only...
Why can't a girl take a drink without a sermon?
It's all right, darling.
No, it isn't all right, darling. Just because I like to feel good, somebody think I was committing a murder or something.
I'm sorry, Rita.
No. It's my fault, Ernie. I'm sick. But you're responsible.
I am?
Darling, can't you see I'm crazy about you?
Well, you know how I feel about you.
Yes, you say it, but you mean it.
Well, let me prove it to you.
You mean by getting a divorce?
Yes, I'll speak to Janet tonight.
No.
Why not?
Because no solution to the problem. You work for a father, don't you?
Yeah?
Well, how long do you think your job would last if you and Janet busted
Well,
up?
I don't care.
Well, I do care. You know, we've got to use our heads, sweetheart. If you just had a little money put away...
Well, it's no use talking. I haven't.
Well, why don't you get it from Janet's father?
Are you crazy?
Listen, I heard someplace Paul Victor's one of the biggest loan sharks in
Well,
New York.
what's that got to
Well,
do...
it stands to reason a man like him would keep a lot of cash in the office.
Rita, are you suggesting...
Yeah.
Well, you're crazy. He'd kill me.
Oh, don't talk like a child. Janice's pride and joy. You told me so yourself.
Well, sure, but...
There are no buts about it. Victor would never do anything to hurt her, and she's in love with you.
But if I left...
Look, Ernie, I know women. A girl like Janet will do anything to protect her man. How much cash does Victor generally have around the office?
Well, it varies.
Yeah, but generally.
It runs around $75,000.
Well, just think how far we could run with that. Now, what do you say, darling? Am I worth the gamble?
Well, sure, but...
There we go with the buts again. Well, when you make up your mind, give me a call. I can't promise I'll wait too long.
Yes,
Mr. Waring,
that's right.
the Falcon.
Right again. Do I know you?
You should. My name is Paul Victor. I spoke to you on the phone yesterday.
Oh, yes. Come in. Won't you sit down?
What's the trouble? Don't you think I can take it standing?
I don't know what gave you the idea I had anything unpleasant to report.
But you have.
Yeah, you know, generally I don't handle this kind of matter.
Well, I'm glad you made an exception in my case.
I only did because you seemed so concerned about your daughter. And as you suspected, your son-in-law has been running around with a girl named Rita Jordan. She's married to a petty larceny thief named Leo.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe what? That he's a petty larceny thief or that Ernie's been playing around?
Neither.
I don't understand you, Victor. You asked me to do some research on your son-in-law. Obviously, you were suspicious.
I was nothing of the kind. I was merely interested in seeing how you private detectives operate. Mm-hmm. And you were supposed to be the best. Now, I'm not so sure. What do I owe you?
Oh, I'll settle for an explanation.
I'm afraid you won't get it. You better take my check, Mr. Waring. You'll find it much more satisfactory. $41 right, 23 left, 17 right, 93 left. Where did I put that briefcase? It's on top of the safe. Oh, Victor. I hope I haven't inconvenienced you, Ernie, but I had no idea.
Now, listen, Victor, I know what you think.
Well, what could I possibly think? After all, what could be more natural than to find my son-in-law at my safe? Of course, someone with an evil mind would say, what is he doing there after office hours and with a gun, no less? But that would never occur to me. So, suppose you put the money back.
No.
Put it back, Ernie, and I won't say a word to Janet.
I don't care what you say to her. Now, just get out of my way.
Now, don't be a fool, Ernie. Are you going to... Let go! I told you to let go! No!
Victor, I didn't mean it. Honest, I didn't. Victor!
It's all right, Ernie.
What?
You can turn on the light. I'm not asleep.
I'm sorry, Janet, but you see...
Don't bother lying. I got a call from Papa.
Got a call from your father?
Yes.
When?
10 minutes ago.
Then he isn't...
Dead? No. You hit him in the shoulder. Why did you do it, Ernie?
Look, Janet, don't ask me any questions.
I don't have to. I know it's her fault.
Her?
That Rita Jordan.
What?
Don't you see what she's doing to you? She's no good, Ernie.
Who told you about her?
Papa had her investigated by Mike Waring. She and her husband are just using her.
You're lying. She's not married.
Jordan's her husband's name. Leo Jordan. He's a petty larceny thief.
You're crazy.
I swear it's the truth. Oh, darling, I don't care what you've done, but don't let this woman make a fool of you. Papa promised he wouldn't say a word to the police. You'll return the money.
No.
But... Oh, Ernie, listen to me. If this woman was any good, I'd let you go, but she's rotten.
Shut up. You're jealous, that's all. You have to make up lies. Well, that won't help you one bit. You and your father can do what you want. Because I'm going to do what I want, beginning right now.
That clock right, Rita?
No, it's 15 minutes past.
Well, I better beat it just the
No,
same.
don't go, Leo. Don't leave me alone.
What, are you crazy? You better douse yourself with some of that taboo. Your boyfriend will be here any minute.
My boyfriend. How can you say that?
Now, look, girl, don't go temperamental on me now. I'll be waiting downstairs in the lobby. When I see the schmo come in, I'll call you on the house phone. As soon as he forks over the dough, send him out for a couple of minutes.
What'll I tell him?
What'll you tell him? Tell him you got a headache. Tell him you need aspirin.
That's a good excuse.
Ernie!
Who is he, Rita?
Leo.
I'm,
He's,
her cousin.
Yes, Leo, this is Ernie Moore.
Well, I've heard a lot about you, fella. Rita's done nothing but talk about you all night. Well, I guess you lovebirds
Just a minute,
will,
Jordan. You must think I'm pretty stupid.
How's that?
You're a husband.
No, Ernie, honest.
Don't make me laugh. I heard you two talking.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that, Ernie. Don't you know eavesdroppers never hear anything good about themselves?
Played me for a sucker.
That's right. What are you going to do about it?
Honey, you just wait and see.
Oh, he's a mean one, isn't he?
Don't, Leo! Darling, please! Leo, please, no more!
Keep out of this, Rita. We're just having fun. Ernie's getting a kick out of this, too, aren't you, fella?
Hello?
Is this Miss Rita Jordan?
Yes?
Well, this is a desk clerk. I've been trying to reach you for the past half hour.
Why, what is it?
I hate to bother you, Miss Jordan, but the party in 209 has been complaining of a disturbance.
I haven't made any noise.
Well, he claims he heard someone yelling.
Well, he's mistaken. There's been absolutely nobody here. But...
Miss Jordan! Miss Jordan!
Hiya, Mike. How goes it? Oh, I can't complain, Ed. Hey, like that new sign you got out in front, Ed Hurley, he's luncheonette. Big red light.
Well, Mike, when you're in business, it pays to advertise.
Well, not my business.
Oh, say, that reminds me. There was a fella dropped in here looking for you.
Who?
I think he said his name was Paul Victor.
That's funny. Where'd he go?
Said he'd be back in a couple of minutes. What'll you have to eat?
Oh, hamburger, coffee, and...
And a salad.
Salad? I didn't know I wanted one.
Well, that's just it, Mike. A lot of men like you, who are always in a hurry, never eating at regular hours, quite often forget to order salad.
Uh-huh.
You enjoy salads, you know they're good for you, but you're just not in the habit of eating them regularly.
Mm-hmm.
What you really need is a wife to cook for you. Married men eat salads all the time.
Other than the wives must earn the living.
How come?
Because hubby's home eating salads all the time.
Now, look, when I saw you coming in, I put this combination salad on your table. Now, just taste it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hey, that's good. That's really good, Ed.
You know why it's good, Mike?
What do you think I am, a detective?
Seriously, Mike, it's the salad dressing that makes those vegetables so good. It's Miracle Whip. I use it on all my salads now.
You mean vegetables are vegetables, but when you put Miracle Whip on them, they taste even better?
That's right, Mike, because there's no other salad dressing like Miracle Whip. It's the one and only. Didn't you notice that flavor of Miracle Whip? It's not too sharp or too mild, but just exactly right. Doggone good stuff.
Ed, let me tell you something you may not know. Ever since I was a kid, I've been eating Miracle Whip on my salad. In fact, I've got two favorite dishes. One of them is Miracle Whip on salad.
Oh, what's the other?
That blonde you told me was last week.
Oh, am I interrupting?
Oh, well, if it isn't Mr. Victor.
I'll leave you two alone now.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Well, I understand you've been looking for me, Mr. Victor.
Yes, I have.
Sit down.
Thank you.
What happened to your arm?
My arm?
Well, you weren't wearing it in a sling the last time we met.
Well, it's a long, dull story.
Well, I'll take your word for it. What's on your mind?
Have you seen this?
Inspector Brunette slain in hotel room. Rita Jordan, age 29. Rita Jordan?
Yes, they're holding my daughter for the murder.
Your daughter?
Mrs. Janet Moore. You know, you checked her husband for me.
Yes, so I did.
Well, now I'd like you to work for her.
And, of course, she's innocent.
Well, of course. How could Janet have killed Rita when I did?
What'd you say?
I seem to have surprised you, Mr. Waring. Perhaps you can do as much for the police. Shall we go?
Well, if it isn't the one and only Mike Waring, the Falcon. Well, that's $5 I owe myself. I knew you were going to say that, Corbett. Yeah, far be it for me to disappoint you. You know, Mr. Victor, Sergeant Corbett, homicide.
Oh, sure. My brother-in-law is one of his best customers. Says he'd rather borrow money from Victor than a bank.
Well, please thank him for me.
I'll be glad to. Well, what's the matter with your arm?
That's another story.
Well, why not tell it now? I haven't heard a good one in years.
You must be hanging around with a dull crowd.
Now, Mike, that's no way to talk about yourself.
Whatever happened to the typical dumb cop we used to hear about?
They've all gone into television. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm working for Janet Moore.
Janet Moore?
The girl you're holding for the Rita Jordan kill.
Her husband hired you?
No, Mr. Victor here did. He's her father.
Well, if you're working for it, stands to reason she's innocent.
But of course.
You won't think me bold if I ask who did kill Rita Jordan.
I did.
What?
And I don't regret it. She was destroying my daughter's happiness.
Well, that's very noble of you, Victor.
I tell you, I killed her, Sergeant.
What'd you do with the knife?
The knife?
You certainly didn't slit her throat with one of Mike's sharp jokes.
I disposed of it in the customary fashion.
And what is the customary fashion?
I threw it down a sewer.
Oh, what do you say, Sergeant?
I say you better get yourself another confession.
Why?
Well, there are a couple of things wrong with Victor's. First of all, we have a signed confession from his daughter.
Oh, yes, she made it to protect me.
Let me see that.
I can assure you it's in perfect order.
I tell you, I killed this Jordan woman.
Well, not with a knife, you didn't. According to this, Rita was shot to death.
Yeah. Well, it's been nice seeing you, Mike. Drop in again when you get another confession. I just love hearing them.
Yes?
I'm looking for Ernie Moore.
Oh, I'm sorry, mister. I'm very busy.
Well, this won't take long.
You got to get out of here.
Now, relax, Ernie. My name is Mike Waring.
Look, I don't care if... Did you say Waring?
I must have.
You're working for my wife.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad to meet you, Waring. I was just on my way to your place.
I don't think you would have found me there.
My wife didn't kill Rita, Mr. Waring.
She signed a confession.
She did it to shield me.
You need it?
Yes, I killed her.
Come again, please.
I killed her, Waring. I was out of my mind about her. You know, she wasn't particularly beautiful or smart, and she drank like a fish. But when I got near her, I just couldn't think straight. And all the while, she was just using me.
How?
She got me to steal from my father-in-law. He caught me.
Is that how Victor was shot?
Yes. I must have been crazy. Then when I went over to see Rita, her husband was there.
And?
Can't you see what happened? Look at my face.
Yes, I've been admiring it since I walked in. Go on.
Well, there's nothing more to tell. When I came to, Jordan was gone. Apparently he hadn't searched me because I still had the gun I used on my father-in-law.
And you used it on Rita?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it funny how you can love somebody 1 minute and hate them the next?
It's the funniest thing in the world.
Janet is worth $1 million of her. And I was so stupid I was ready to give her up. Look what she's trying to do for me now.
Yeah, sure. You still got the gun?
Yes. Here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this ought to do it. All right, Ernie, let's go.
Oh, no, don't tell me you're back again.
All right, Sergeant, I won't tell you. You know him?
Yeah, sure. How are you, Mr. Moore?
Fine.
Well, what's on your collective mind?
Break it to him gently, Ernie.
My wife didn't kill Rita, Sergeant.
I know, it was her father. We've been all through that.
No, you're wrong. I killed her.
You what? Look, Mike, is this another one of your gags?
Oh, don't talk like a chump. Show him the gun, Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know? So this is the murder weapon.
He potted Victor with it, too.
Funny, it doesn't seem to have been fired lately.
Well, he explained that to me. He cleaned it before he put it away.
Well, there's one thing I'd like Mr. Moore to explain. This is a .32 Colt automatic.
So?
So, Rita was killed with a German Luger.
She what?
You heard me. But just so it shouldn't be a total waste, here's the gun back. Maybe you'd like to use it on yourself.
All right, take it easy. I'm coming. Well, will you look who's here?
I guess you remember me, Jordan.
Sure, it's Moore, isn't it? Ernie Moore.
Yeah.
Well, what's on your mind?
Your wife's murder.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, too. I don't know how I'm going to get along with that, Rita. The old homestead won't seem the same without all those empty bottles.
Police claim my wife killed her.
Yeah, I heard it on the radio. I understand she made a confession.
She didn't do it, Jordan. She confessed to protect me.
Well, that was real nice of her, wasn't it? But that's a woman for you. Now, you even take Rita. Huh. Yeah, you tried that, didn't you? Well, you'd be surprised how she'd knock herself out for me. Now, some people might think I was just a big, overgrown slob, but to Rita, I was the greatest thing since the martini.
You killed her.
Now, you don't know what you're saying, Ernie.
Yes, I do. You're going with me to see Mike Waring.
Why would I want to see him?
Tell him the whole story.
Obviously, you're a boy who doesn't learn from experience.
You think so?
Well, you forgot the lesson I taught you. It's lucky for you that I'm a patient man. So I don't mind teaching you again. Come here, Ernie. Time to call the class to order.
Hey, taxi! Taxi!
I give you a lift, fella?
Oh, I wouldn't want to trouble you.
No trouble at all, Mr. Waring.
You seem to know me.
The Falcon's a famous New York landmark, like the public library.
That's pretty good. I wish I...
Come back here.
Wouldn't be a gun in your pocket.
Wouldn't it?
I guess it would.
Get in.
Want me to sit on your friend's lap?
Move over, Al. Any more excuses?
Wish I could think of a couple.
Maybe you do better inside. All right, Al. Find us some nice, quiet spot where we can talk.
My, no hydromatic?
Oh, Al isn't fussy when he steals a car.
Oh, you're Leo Jordan, aren't you?
Who told you that?
Recognized you from your description. I was awfully sorry to hear about your wife.
Thanks.
Got any ideas who killed her?
No, but I understand you have.
Where do you understand that from?
Ernie Moore.
Oh.
Ernie says you're fixing to pin the rap on me.
Well, I hadn't considered it before.
But now that you have...
I think it's a great idea.
So you were going to frame me, hmm?
I don't think you need one, Leo. I'm sure a little investigation will uncover enough evidence to send you to the chair.
And if you don't turn up anything, you'll manufacture it.
You really know me, don't you?
I know plenty like you. Let me give you a little tip, Waring. Keep out of my hair.
And if I don't?
Then you gotta expect me to get into yours.
Oh.
Well, it looks like Mike got into a little trouble that time. But I suppose the life of a detective is no picnic. Me, I prefer my job because I like picnics. I like them especially when we bring along a salad that's topped with delicious Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip is the only one of its kind because it's different, a different type of salad dressing made from a secret craft recipe. Miracle Whip combines the best qualities of boiled dressing and old-fashioned mayonnaise, so it's truly distinctive and delicious, with a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. Try it, won't you? One taste will tell you why it's America's favorite salad dressing, the one and only Miracle Whip. Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. 2 hours have passed since Mike Waring learned that you can increase your height by either wearing elevator shoes or getting a rap on the noggin. Now, as Mike comes to.
Ooh, this is a peachy one, Mike. You ought to get a big rise out of this one.
Oh, where am I?
Near the Bronx Zoo.
Oh.
Somebody must have dropped you off head first. And when I heard about it, naturally, I dashed down.
Sure, thanks.
Oh, don't thank me, Mike. This sort of thing doesn't happen often enough to suit me.
Yeah.
Well, who did it this time?
Leo Jordan.
Rita's husband?
Yes.
Why?
He thought I was trying to frame him for a murder.
Were you?
Yeah, sure. That's the way I operate. Look, Janet didn't kill Rita Jordan.
Oh, don't tell me you got another confession. I couldn't stand that.
Well, Mrs. Moore is innocent.
Well, then who done it?
I don't know. Let's get all our suspects together and we'll play blind man's buff.
And if that doesn't work?
Well, I can always take Jordan's idea and frame somebody. Oh. Hand me my head and let's go.
Ernie.
Hello, Janet.
Oh, Ernie, what have they done to you?
Nothing, honey.
Oh, you poor darling.
Janet, come here. You're to have nothing to do with him.
Oh, Papa, please.
No, he's right, baby. I've given you enough trouble already.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Janet.
Leave her alone, Victor. This is a very touching
Just keep
thing.
out of this, Jordan.
I wish I could, but a fellow named Waring insisted on my being here.
Someone mentioned my name?
Yeah,
Oh, hello, Leo. Been here long?
too long.
Good. All right, Victor. Sorry we had to do this.
Oh, well, that's perfectly all right.
Well, I knew you'd take it like the grand trooper you are. Well, Mrs. Moore and gentlemen, not to keep you in suspense, we are gathered here tonight to determine who killed Rita Jordan. Now, this case was complicated by one thing. We had 3 confessions, which is 2 over par. So obviously someone was lying.
Well, it wasn't me, and if you try framing
Oh, we
me...
don't have to do that, Jordan. You're no problem at all. You're the only one in our little cast who didn't confess.
So?
So obviously you didn't kill Rita.
Now, look, Waring.
No, I'm sure of it, Ernie. He has no motive. If he wanted to get rid of his wife, all he had to do was walk off.
Well, Janet didn't kill her.
Yes, I did.
I don't believe it.
Well, you shouldn't, especially when you know the truth.
Are you insinuating?
Yes, I am. You killed Rita Jordan.
Now, listen, you.
Now, don't complain, Ernie. I especially staged this little scene down here in jail so you wouldn't have to do any more traveling. Now, try and show a little appreciation.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah?
There's something I wanted to ask you.
Fire away, Sergeant.
Say that sometime when I got my service revolver handy.
Now, what's bothering you, little man?
Well, I can see why Ernie killed Rita.
Can you?
Yeah, like he said, he hated her.
Like he said.
But what gets me is why he confessed.
Well, that was a smart move, Sergeant. Ernie knew sooner or later we'd get around to him, so he beat us to the punch and offered himself as a sacrifice. But you notice he gave himself an out.
Oh, you mean the business of the gun?
Yeah. He disposed of the Luger he used on Rita and got the Colt automatic. He knew the minute you saw it, you'd be positive he was innocent.
Well, I was.
Yeah, sure. And once you gave him a clean bill of health, you would probably never bother him again. You'd think here was a man who was just trying to protect his wife.
But you saw all through his dark, nefarious plot.
Well, isn't that what you'd expect of me?
Oh, of course. After all, aren't you the one and only Falcon? But here's something you wouldn't expect of me.
What's that, Sergeant?
We've been coming to Ed's Luncheonette every week for years.
Mm-hmm.
And always, you grab the checks.
But tonight's
different. Tonight, I'm going to pay my own.
June is an important month in the dairy industry. Not only is it Dairy Month, when we salute all the men and women who work to supply America with the finest dairy products in the world, but this June also marks the 100th birthday of the cheese industry. Yes, it was just 100 years ago that the first commercial cheese factory in this country was built. And this June is a very important month to your friend, your independent retail grocer. Because next week in Chicago, the National Association of Retail Grocers will present for the first time an international food and fixtures exposition along with their 52nd annual convention. Congratulations, Grocers of America. The Case of the Sweet Swindle. The Case of the Sweet Swindle. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that those people who think they can get away with murder are in for the shock of their lives. So be sure to listen at this same time next week to another exciting adventure of the Falcon, brought to you by the Kraft Food Company. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, produced by Bernard L. Schubert, written tonight by Eugene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Music was by Arlo. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon, with Chuck Webster as Sergeant Corbett. This is Ed Hurley speaking for the Kraft Foods Company.
Laugh with Groucho. He's next on NBC.
Welcome back. That's the life of a private detective for you. One moment you're doing an ad for Miracle Whip, the next you're getting involved in a murder case. It's not an unheard of sort of scene. If you ever saw the TV series, Martin Caine Private Detective, there are plenty of scenes where a character who runs a tobacco shop that Martin Caine frequents works in some plugs for the sponsor's products. It's a bit unusual here just because we haven't heard the Falcon actually being in ads, and I kind of wonder if that trend is going to continue. Chuck Webster is going to take a little bit of getting used to as Sergeant Corbett, and it'll be interesting to hear if he grows into the role. Sometimes these replacements don't work out, like when Ken Christie replaced Norman Fields as Noah Danton on Mystery Is My Hobby. I don't think I ever really warmed to Ken Christie's take on the character, but we'll see how Chuck Webster does. Of course, we heard Webster not too long ago in a couple of episodes of Squad Room. Now, the reference to the fact that all the dumb cops had gone to television, I read as kind of a subtle rib at Ken Lynch, who was the previous Sergeant Corbett. At the time, Lynch was starred in the Dumont TV series The Plainclothesman as the lead character who is known as the Lieutenant. It was the first ever police procedural television series. It started in 1949 and was actually a bit different as it was told in point-of-view shot. If you've ever seen the Robert Montgomery Philip Marlowe film, Lady in the Lake, you know what I'm talking about. The story is filmed from the point of view of the main character, in this case, the lieutenant. And so you don't see his face. You know, if he lights a cigar, you kind of see that perspective of him lighting it, of his hands moving, but you don't see his face. It aired for 5 years from 1949 to 54. It was a live series, very well rated, but only 4 episodes are thought to have survived, one of which you can watch on YouTube. Now, Lynch had been appearing on The Falcon and also doing the TV series The Plainclothesman at the same time for all of the episodes we've been listening to with Les Damon. So I'm not certain the reason for the change. I do know that while the Falcon had changed days, so had the Plainclothesman. It had moved from Wednesday nights to Sunday nights. Even though the Falcon aired on Wednesdays, it could be a rehearsal schedule for one of the programs created a conflict. It also might be a case of money, either NBC not willing to pay Lynch more or what he deserved, or perhaps Lynch earning more in his 3rd year on Dumont TV and deciding just to focus on that. And of course, there could be any number of professional or personal reasons for the recasting, but I just couldn't find any explanation for it. Now, as for the murder mystery, it was actually pretty good. I think the Falcon's always intriguing when we're given a lot of really cagey characters, and you don't get more cagey than 2 different false confessions. The whole setup of a woman trying to seduce a man into embezzling from his boss is one we've heard, and so it's one that I think the Falcon would do well to stay away from. But it certainly doesn't detract from the rest of the episode. The weirdest part of the episode was when the killer's wife explained that her father was fine because he'd hit him in his shoulder. I'm a little bit confused because I don't think that you can knock someone out so thoroughly that you think they're dead when you just hit them in the shoulder. But at any rate, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. And we have some YouTube comments regarding the case of the big talker. Jerry writes, Palmer sounds like Mr. Host on Inner Sanctum. Thanks for the upload. Thanks, Jerry. That would be, I believe, Raymond Edward Johnson, who played Raymond. I'm not a huge Inner Sanctum fan, but I've listened to some Crime Club episodes, and it didn't sound like Johnson to me, but those who are more familiar with his work might have a different opinion. Wendy says, I've never heard the Falcon before. I'll be listening to more. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. And it's been great to hear so many comments like that. And it's been great to be able to introduce so many people to the Falcon. Then, regarding the Stolen Melody murder case, Reinser writes, Chameleon is definitely unique. I knew Carl Swinson as Axel and Perry Mason. And then we also got general positive comments from Jerry and Betsy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you commenting on YouTube. And now it is time to thank our Patreon supporter of the day. And I want to go ahead and thank Anton. Anton's been one of our Patreon supporters since December 2023, currently supporting the podcast at the Seamus level of $4 or more per month. Thank you so much for your support, Anton. And that will do it for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us using your favorite podcast software. And be sure to rate and review the podcast wherever you download it from. We will be back next Monday with another episode of The Falcon, but join us back here tomorrow for Bulldog Drummondware.
Grimes, I want to talk to you.
Sure?
About Carl Evans.
Evans. He was a nice young fella, but he wouldn't listen to old Zach, so Red Moran got him.
The same ridiculous story, Captain Drummond. Grimes, I promised Carl Evans' wife I'd do everything possible to find out what happened to her husband. That's why I've come to you first.
I'll tell you what happened to that young fella. Red Moran got him. That's what happened. Red Moran got him out at Devil Flats.
You were the last one to see Carl Evans before he disappeared.
I warned him, but that young fellow wouldn't listen.
Yes, we read the report of your version of the affair. When you returned to Devil Flats the next morning, Evans was gone. There wasn't a trace of him.
Grimes, I understand you run sightseers out to Devil Flats. So, just as soon as we get you...
I hope you'll be with us then. In the meantime, send your comments to box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and check us out on Instagram. Instagram.com/Great Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.